The GitLab license approval policy feature allows legal and compliance teams to manage policies which will require approval on merge requests whenever licenses are detected that violate the policy. These policies are stored in YAML in a Git repo inside of GitLab in what we call a security policy project. These security policy projects can then be linked to one or more development projects, or they can also be linked to groups or subgroups, which will then cause the policy to apply to all of the projects inside of those groups. By storing these policies as YAML, we're able to provide a full history of any changes that are made to the policy. We can require approvals anytime a change is proposed to be made to the policy, and we can provide separation of duties to allow security, compliance, and legal teams to manage those policies separately from the developers. To get started with these policies, you can go in your development project to the Security and Compliance Policies tab. Here, I've already linked this project up, the Simple Notes demo project, to a security policy project, which is called Simple Notes Demo-Security Policy Project. Because of that, you can see that I already have 3 policies that are applied to this particular project. To create a new policy, all I need to do is click New Policy here, and then I can create a new scan result policy because I want this to apply to the merge request after the license scan is complete. Once I do that, I'm able to then edit the policy by entering a name and a description. And as I do this, you'll notice that the YAML on the right-hand side is live updating based off of the data that I'm entering. I can then set up my rules. In this case, I'm going to set up a rule for my license scan. And I'm going to look for any license that's matching the list of licenses that I define here. In this mode, it's looking for licenses that are expressly prohibited, and any licenses that I define in this list will be blocked, and the merge request will not be able to be merged in unless approval is given. Alternately, I can change this to say accept instead of matching. And when I do this, instead, the rule is going to operate as an allow list of licenses, where I'm going to be defining licenses that are allowed to be merged in without approval, and any other license that I don't define in this list is going to be cause the merge request to be blocked so that it'll have to require approval before it's merged in. So we have flexibility depending on whether the legal and compliance team wants to operate based off of an allow list or a deny list in this case. For this example, I'm going to go ahead and use a deny list, and I'm going to look specifically, in this case, for the GNU Afro v3 license. And I'm going to say that I want to look for this anytime the license is newly detected. In this case, it's going to look anytime there's a new dependency that's being introduced. If it matches and has one of these licenses, then it's going to block the merge request and require approval. And in this case, I'm looking for any merge request targeting the main branch. If I wanted to operate on a little bit of a different mode instead, I could choose pre-existing components, and in this case, it's going to require approval for all merge requests anytime there is a license match that matches this license, even if that component has already been merged into the default branch. So it's a way to say if for some reason a prohibited license gets in, we're going to stop all new merge requests from coming in. In this case, I don't want to do that. I only want to require approval for things that are newly detected. I don't want to worry about stuff that I've already approved in the past. And so I'm just going to only look for newly detected matches against this list. As part of this, I can come in and I can define who is allowed to approve. This can be a user or a group. In this case, I'm just going to add myself, but if I wanted, I could add multiple individuals here and multiple groups, and I can define how many approvals are actually required. If I want to get even more advanced, I can switch into YAML mode, and in this case, I can edit the YAML directly, and I can add licenses. For example, if I'm looking for a more specific license text that I want to match on, I can add that here into the list. Once I do that, I'm going to be able to configure this with a merge request, and this is actually going to generate a merge request back into that linked security policy project. So remember we had those two linked. This is generating that YAML license change into that policy definition file that's in that linked project. And once I do that, I'm going to get this approved, and I'm going to go ahead and merge it in. And once I do that merge, it's going to go ahead and add that to my list. So I can come back out. Let me navigate back to my original development project here. And if I come back into the Simple Notes demo project, I can go over to the policies page again, and I can see that here I've got this new license approval policy that was added just now. And the way this actually shows up in terms of being enforced is on a merge request. So I'm going to go ahead and visit one of the merge requests where I'm introducing a new dependency. In this case, I'm adding the new OSR framework dependency. And this particular dependency has the license that I've been writing a policy to block. So you can see it requires 2 approvals. There are a few different approval rules that are blocking this merge request. One of those is that license approval policy, and I can see that it's using a denied license. And because of that, the merge itself is blocked and it can't be merged in until approval is given.